First of all, let me say how honored I am to have been asked to talk to you today. I have to say we're going through pretty dark times, aren't we? There's the pandemic that's caused so much suffering, loss of life, and economic chaos. And the tragedy is we brought this on ourselves by our disrespect of animals. We've created conditions that make it easy for a virus to spill over from an animal to a human. We've destroyed their habitats, bringing some species into closer contact with people. We've hunted them, we sell them in unhygienic wildlife markets as they're trafficked around the world. We crowd billions of domestic animals into so-called factory farms. And remember, each of these wild and domestic animals is an individual, a sentient being, capable of feeling fear and pain. Even before science proved this was true, all the major religions urged people to treat animals with kindness. The twin threats to our future, climate change and biodiversity loss, we've also brought on ourselves by our disrespect of the natural world. The absurd idea there can be unlimited economic development in a world of finite natural resources and a growing human population. The thing is, we depend on the natural world and we rely on it for clean air, water, food, everything. But we depend on healthy ecosystems. And an ecosystem is comprised of a complex interrelationship between its plants and animals. Each species has a role to play in what I think of as a beautiful living tapestry. And every time a species disappears, a thread is pulled from that tapestry until it hangs in tatters and the ecosystem collapses. We've polluted air, water, and land with industrial farming and its toxic chemical pesticides and herbicides, along with industrial, agricultural, and household waste. We've recklessly burned fossil fuel, sending up massive amounts of carbon dioxide into the atmosphere, one of these greenhouse gases that circle the world, trapping the heat of the sun. We've destroyed forests and polluted oceans, the two great lungs of the world that absorb carbon dioxide and provide us with oxygen and rain. The materialistic and unsustainable lifestyle of the affluent places intolerable demands on our finite natural resources, while those in poverty destroy the environment in order to survive. And it's the poor and those living on the land who suffer the worst as a result of climate change. And climate change is now felt by everyone. Weather patterns have changed, ice is melting, sea levels are rising. There are more terrible hurricanes and typhoons, worse flooding, longer and more frequent droughts and heat waves, and the horrendous fires burning around the world. There can never be peace between peoples until we learn to live in peace and harmony with the natural world. Already there are conflicts over access to water and land due to more frequent droughts, or when corporations try to take over the land of the indigenous people. It's not too late to change, although we're running out of time. We can phase out our exploitation of animals and industrial farming and turn to regenerative farming, permaculture, and so on. We can move towards a plant-based diet so that vast areas of land can be used to grow healthy food for people instead of grain for livestock. We can move away from fossil fuels, but we only have this short window of time, and everyone needs to take part. I'm told that over 70% of the people on the planet belong to a faith group, and this means that the leaders of the world's religions have a hugely important responsibility to raise awareness and urge their followers to take action to protect the natural world. Encourage them to obey the golden rule that's shared by every single major religion. Do to others as you would have others do to you. And it's necessary now to make clear that others must include animals and Mother Nature. Finally, we must emphasize that every individual has a role to play. Every individual makes some impact every day. And if everyone makes ethical choices in how they live their lives, what they buy, eat, wear, asking, did its production harm the environment, cause cruelty to animals? Is it cheap because of unfair wages or sweatshops? Then we shall move towards a better world for all. But we have to alleviate poverty so that the poor can make these choices too. Finally, we must reconnect and make peace with the natural world before it's too late. And religions can play a very major role. Thank you.